Hello and welcome to Pulse. I'm Ron Roberson. Linda George is a candidate for the Lynwood School Board. Linda, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So glad to have you here. For those that don't know you, I know you've been in the city of Lynwood for many, many years, probably all your life. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I work for the school district. I retired in 2012, and I worked there for 28 years. And during that time, I was a classroom teacher. For 26 years, I was a dean of students, activities director. I was the coach of the cheerleaders. Also, I was the president of the Teachers Association. So I've been around the district, in the city. I was really involved in the city a lot.
Yeah. After so many years of working in all the positions that you've had, it seems to me like you'd be swinging on a hammock somewhere in Jamaica. Why on earth are you running for school board?
Everybody is college,
Right.
which is fine, but every student is not going to college.
That's right.
And we need to have all the students prepared, bring in vocational courses and career tech. So the reason why I'm running for school board is because I want to assure the parents that we're going to give them a whole student back.
Yes, indeed. There are some obvious issues, and I'm sure there are many, and just like any other city would have, or any school district would have. What are some of the issues that you're going to deal with outside of what you've already stated?
In Lynwood, the graduation rate is dismal, which they say is in all district. Lynwood really should be a model district for the nation. It's small enough where you don't have to deal with the bureaucracy, but big enough where it would be a really good testing ground for the things I would like to do. We don't utilize the community businesses enough. When I first went into Lynwood, I would go to businesses to, get internships for my students and paid jobs so that they could go out and, give back to their community. I really stress giving back. When I had the cheerleaders, before community service was even this big deal, I had my cheerleaders go and do community service. If they got below a C, they had to go to the convalescent homes or the hospital and do volunteer their services. So I like to see more of that with the student, because once the students give, it's easy to come back.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're getting from. I think that's why they're in gangs, because we're not addressing the whole student.
Right.
We're addressing test scores. Let's get everybody in college, and that's not going to happen.
The current school board, your thoughts about some of the members?
Well, one of the school board members was one of my former students, and as PTA president, I work with a lot of the parents. But the other school board members, because when I was the LTA president, I worked with them, offset a strike, negotiated, and every year teachers got salary increases. That's another thing that I would like to see is highly qualified administrators, not just teachers, but highly qualified administrators. I think that the administrators get a pass because society focuses on the teachers, and rightfully so. But the policies are coming from administrators, not the teachers. They're abiding by what the policymakers pass down to them, and that's the problem. And because I was a classroom teacher and I know what's necessary in order for the teachers to do a good job, I would focus on that as well. It's getting back to that whole child, being a classroom teacher, working with activities. I was very involved with the students, not just academically, but socially as well. The school board, they're doing an okay job, but with my educational background, I have a doctorate degree in educational leadership. I have a master's degree in education administration, and my undergraduate work is in business management with emphasis on human resources. So as individual educator, I'm bringing a lot to the table, and it will be a different perspective, to come in with the school board members, because I think there's an attorney on there, there's a parent, and there's 3 very young people on the school board. So I would bring a new perspective, and I think one of the school board members told me, he said, "Miss George, you would," I said, "Why are you guys so afraid of me?" He said, "Well, I'm only 1 vote." He said, "But you would change a lot of minds." So I think it's that perspective, and it is because I ran the gamut of in education,
Yeah.
and policy making is the only place I haven't touched.
Yes.
I was also I worked in the district office for 2 years as a teacher on special assignments and curriculum development. So in budget, all of that.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, you're very well qualified, always have been, and I've seen you running around Lynwood doing the things you did all way back in '89, 90, I remember. And we are asking Godspeed, and I got a feeling everything's going to be all right. I think you're going to do just fine.
Well, I'm praying that everything works out, because I do have a lot to offer.
Yes.
And to just sit at home and not do anything. I tried it for 6 months, and it didn't work. I said, no, can't do this.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. And
thank you so much for having me. And I really appreciate Pulse Media for inviting me to this session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. She's Linda George. She's a candidate for the Lynwood Unified School District School Board. Be sure to get out and vote. This is The Pulse. I'm Ron Roberson. We'll see you next time.